Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to a very special episode of ChluyTalk. I am your host, Taylor Chluy. Today we got an amazing hip-hop recording artist from Cambodia town. But before I introduce him, I'm going to roll my intro. Yeah, so this hip-hop artist really needs no introduction. He really grinded and made a name for himself. He goes by the name of Gfunk Supreme, and I'm just going to go ahead and pass you the mic, bro. Salute, how you been?
I'm good, bro. Man, I appreciate you you giving me an opportunity to come on here and speak in my mind and sharing this startup of your podcast. So salute to you. You know what I'm saying?
Yo. It's a blessing, man. And, we've been like friends for a while on social media, and we had a chance to meet up like a few years ago when I went to Long Beach during my early humble days when I was doing like my New Year events. And you came to New York City one time, and it was me and the homie, and we gave you a little tour, and hopefully that experience was dope for you. And but I wanted to invite you over because you spread a lot of positivity on your page, and I'm on YouTube searching Khmer rappers because to me, we want to see who's out there, and your name popped up, Gfunk Supreme. I saw one of your early music videos was using the baseball field spitting bars. Remember that one? I can't think of the name right now, but I'm like, yo, this guy dope.
Right.
Yeah. At first, I thought you was Latino. I'm pretty sure you get that a lot. I get that
a lot. I think it's my nose. Somebody told me it's like my nose, or just like some of my facial structures or whatever like that. But shout out to all my Latinos though. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, shout out to y'all. And then we finally met. Through the homie. Shout out to John Lee. I think he introduced me to you, or did I meet you before that? I was trying to remember.
I think it was just through mutual friends. You come through Long Beach, and of course, Long Beach, a lot of people know each other. And then, of course, with you doing the whole YouTube thing, your name was everywhere. And so people just knew each other. And every time you came around to the functions, everybody slid through, showed love, and said what's up. And it was kind of like one of those outings where you run into each other. So that was just like how that was, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, I'm just blessed to be your homie, for a while. So it's good to see you progress and stuff. But before we get to current days and now, I just definitely want to get to know you how you grew up in Long Beach, and I'm pretty sure the viewers want to know your story. So if you want to just tell a little about how it was like and your experiences,
right.
Let us
know.
So
I was born in Arizona, which is where from where my dad was sponsored to. He had told them I want something that's similar to where I'm from, where it's hot. And they shipped the motherfuckers to Arizona, not knowing it's hot. That home is hot. But fucking Arizona is hot. And then we came to Long Beach when I was 1 or 2. And it was, I didn't really start remembering stuff until 4 or 5. But anything you can imagine of being a minority growing up in Long Beach, you could imagine, discrimination, you got racial tension, you got gangs. Just a lot of shit that you battling as a minority and also somebody who's also willing or fighting to find an identity at the same time. You know what I'm saying? But besides that, Long Beach is home. I feel like it helps mold me into the person I am today because it's so diverse. It got so many different cultures that it gave you access to a lot of different things and information that you probably wouldn't get if you lived somewhere that wasn't as diverse as this, you know what I'm saying? Right. So amidst of whatever people might think of being in a hood or whatever stereotype they might think, I think it's just finding a rose in the concrete, you know what I'm saying? It's just a metaphor I would like to say it. So yeah, that's just to summarize how I would say my experience growing up in Long Beach was.
Dope. And then do you have siblings? How many siblings do you have?
So I grew up in a family of 7, both my parents, and then I got siblings is 5 total, with me being the second youngest. I got 2 brothers and 2 sisters, so I'm the second youngest.
Okay, dope. I'm the youngest, so.
Are you the youngest?
Yeah, I had 2 older brothers and 3 older sisters, so pretty big family.
We was pretty close knit only because we didn't have a lot of family out here. So really the people we were close to was each other or the friends that we grew up with. So even till today, a lot of the people I hang out with are friends that I've been homies with since childhood, since middle school, high school, and stuff like that. So yeah.
So in like school, how was it like in school? Did you have any hobbies? Did you play sports or how was it like?
I didn't really like have like specific hobbies, but I was just, as a kid, you're doing a lot of things. You just kicking it with the homies. You're playing sports. Basketball was always a thing. Skating was for sure. Like growing up, skating was fun. And this was pre like technology days where you were outside actually hanging out. You were riding bikes. You were out late nights till the sun come down. Like you was knocking on the door trying to see if the homies is home. You know what I'm saying? I think as time passed by, and going into middle school is like when you kind of growing up a little bit, you find it like, who yourself is a little bit more. That's kind of when you start to experience emotion, experience feeling, you're going through puberty and all that shit. Yep. And that's when I found like a hobby in poetry, because the homies who like used to rap back in the day, I was just like, damn, like I was unaware of Asian rappers back then. And so the only thing I knew of was like Asian raps. And, I used to listen to all the fun on that. Right?
AsianRaps.com, right? That forum?
Back in the day? But then to know somebody personally, it was more like, crazy to me. So I was just like naturally just copying them, going over people's beats and shit like that. So that's when I really like started getting into poetry. I took a poetry class, and that's when I really was like enjoying it, because I was just being able to use different words, style it differently, and just kind of be creative, you know what I'm saying? I think I always had a thing for creative writing, but that poetry class was really something that like helped me grow a passion for it more so than just a hobby. Right. And I always talk about my 8th grade poetry teacher. And I always say, like, I always shout her out in like a lot of my interviews and shit like that. So that was like one of my main hobbies. That's something that really stuck with me for sure. If I could say like something that grew with me for sure.
So you would say that you started 8th grade when you really found a passion for poetry, and then led into the music. Like, who were your musical influence? I know Cali is like the mecca of like West Coast hip hop. Name some of what was the first artist or song that made you like, yo, this is. I might want to rap,
That was my brother who was in the living room at this little apartment that we used to stay at. And he was playing Snoop, What's My Name. I think it came out in like, I don't know when it was, like maybe 94, 93 when it came out. But I was just like, as a kid, you don't know the lyrics. You just know the sound. So you just repeating whatever you're saying. Like, it was just hard. I heard of him and I heard of Usher. Like, those were the 2 first artists that I heard. So gangster rap and R&B was the first things I ever heard and kept listening to. So it might make sense now because my style is very like kind of raw, rugged, but it has like a jazzy, smooth persona of it. It's probably because of that, listening to R&B, listening to like Snoop and them foods and shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. I hear a lot of Snoop influences. You're like mellow. You could have like that playerism. You can have that the hardcore if you want to spit that hardcore too, the bars. But like pretty much everything Californians grew up on. Like, I'm up there in Seattle, so we were influenced by California, like hip hop culture. So we like the Snoops, we like the Dre's, the NWAs, and all that. So definitely, I think the '90s was definitely a good era. So
even growing up, like even outside of Snoop, like it was people I started listening to was kind of more on a come up, like J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, Nipsey, of course, like Overdose, Dom Kennedy. Like just a lot of up and coming artists at that time, to where now like you see that like mega household names. Like people like them, like I definitely like as I got older and listened to music a lot more with people that like I started like just listening to and getting inspired by. You know what I'm saying?
Dope. Yeah. For sure. And like what age did you like started recording? You made your first rap song, and how was it?
I was in I was in 9th grade with the homies. I was with the homie Richard. So I used to always go to his house during summer school and shit like that. And we would just fuck around. So he was the homie in middle school that brought the CD with his cousins rapping on it. So he was the plug. It was a dude that had a microphone at his house who was rapping in the closet. He had the PC with the program on it. One day I was just chilling. And just because I just happened to be there, he was like, yo, you want to rap? I'm like, fuck it. Like, I'll rap. I wrote some shit real quick. And then as soon as I hopped on the mic, everybody was just kind of surprised at how I sounded, because I had like a distinct voice. I sounded really young, but I just sounded like, it just sounded unique enough for somebody to catch attention. Like who is that? You know what I'm saying? And so that was like the 9th grade when I made my first song. So it was cool to hear how I sounded on a beat versus like you don't really listen to how you sound in real life. You know what I'm saying? But to hear it on the song and through the speakers, it was like, okay, this is cool.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that because that's what stood out to me was your voice. You don't sound like nobody. You know what I mean? And this is like it's your actual talking voice. It's not It's not like a fake voice. You know what I'm saying? Like
it's not like
it's like a rap voice. It's actually your voice. So it's like it's you being you. So and it's dope, nice. You know. So
I get that a lot too because people will listen to me on a song, and somebody had told me one time like after a show they're like, man, I appreciate how your voice sounds the same in person and on stage and on the song because you get to still somebody might enjoy the song, but then when you sound different, you just be like, oh, they still like the song, but it's like they were just having a different expectation. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Feel it. Like growing up, like were your parents supportive, like of what you do, like music and stuff? That were they supportive of it?
So growing up, I think I definitely had a way bigger relationship with my mom more than I did my dad. You know, and I think a lot of us can maybe relate. Is that I think father figures in a household they don't really talk much because I think how they're more raised to have certain qualities of just being a provider, being a protector, and the mother figures are more nurturing, more sensitive, more kind of emotional based. And so I think growing up, I never really had conversations with my dad of what I wanted to be or what I wanted to do. And so all he thought about was, look, you need to just go out there and make money and bring it back to pay the bills. But my mom, we had more conversations. We had more dialogue. She was always supportive of me venturing off to figure out myself and starting a business or doing something that not only I can enjoy, but just something that was going to keep me off the street. And before, she wasn't really happy about me rapping just because she just thought, like, what are you doing? Like, you know, you need to finish school. You need to do all that. But I think
Banca, like,
yeah. But you know, my mom, because she's a business owner, she always had that idea that, you know what, but if you're going to do something, you need to try your best and you need to work for yourself. I don't want you going out there working for nobody and thinking that you can't do more than that. So she always trained me, my train of thought, to be a business owner instead of working for somebody else. So when she realized that I was doing okay in school, I was passing, I was still doing my thing, I was doing what she asked, and I was still able to do my music thing at the same time, I think it surprised her. I think she looked at it like, damn, like, you know, this kid, like, he can do both of those at the same time, so who am I to tell him to stop? So, you know, as soon as I finished college, everything that involved music, she was like, hey, man, do what you want, because you did exactly what you said you was going to do. So who am I to stop you from doing what you want to do? You know what I'm saying? And so she was always supportive of me doing music. She rocks my clothes all the time. She listens to my music.
Yeah, I think it's dope. I see your relationship with your mom on like IG and stuff. I think that's a dope relationship you have, you know? She's hella supportive. So
Yeah. She's probably the closest thing to me as far as both, not just a mother, but a father figure. But even though she couldn't teach me a lot about being a man, she did the best she could to help mold me into what I needed to prepare myself into being the man I needed to be. You know what I'm saying? And anything else I learned was from my brother, the bigger homies out here, and just looking up to people around me, even looking up to artists. Because, you know, you look at them and you kind of listen to what they got to say. You know, I don't necessarily got to know them, but I feel like if you take value in what people are saying and you can learn from it, those are things that you would expect from a role model or a father figure or anybody that you want to look up to and you want to, you know, kind of follow the same footsteps of what they did. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
How important is Khmer culture to you? And why should we keep pushing our culture forward for the next generation?
So how important is Khmer culture? I think it's 1,000% important. I like to kind of speak in metaphors. And so I feel like your culture is your grassroots, right? It's your foundation. And anything you choose to build on top of that is solely based on how strong your foundation is. So if you ain't got no means of foundation, if you ain't got nothing that's going to support your structure, your backbone, whatever, over time, your whatever empire or whatever you're trying to build on top of that is going to be weak and it's going to crumble. You know, I feel like your backbone is who you are. It is what made you who you are. So your culture, your identity is everything. And so I feel like I had a bigger sense of importance of culture the older I got. You know, as we kids, you know, we're Americanized, we're so in tune of just, you know, kind of doing whatever that we see like people on TV doing. But as you get older, you find how important it is to have an identity that you can call your own. And what's better to have something to call your own than the one that is already in you, being Cambodian. And so I got the chance to visit Cambodia back probably like 6 months ago. I had just turned 30. Me and the homies that went there for the first time. Some of them have been there, but I went there for the first time. Wow. And like, I wouldn't even had enough words to describe like the feeling of being there. It was like magical, it's surreal, all at the same time. Because I mean, I went to Vietnam in high school, but that was just, I was still young, you know, like I had a glimpse of like what it was like. But then going to Cambodia, seeing Angkor Wat, seeing these temples, being able to talk to the people, chop it up with the people in the villages, playing with the kids. It gave me a stronger sense of identity, and I just felt good, you know, and I felt even more proud to be Cambodian.
I've never been back, so like it's like really cool to see like pictures. So like you said, it was like an eye-opening experience, and like for first timers like that want to visit, and like what tip would you give them like to prepare themselves for something like this, like to visit some Khmer for the first time?
I think if I was to tell somebody to what they could look for is to leave your expectations at home. You know what I'm saying? Because you want to be able to go there with an open mind, with no expectations, and be there purely free-minded and open-minded and willing and open to do whatever and experience the life the way it is over there. You know what I'm saying? It's not a party. It could be, but you don't want to go over there thinking, you know, these pre-assumed or premeditated expectations, you know what I'm saying? So I would just say, I mean, of course, take your shots, take your safety shots, whatever you got to do to go up there health-wise. Pack light. You don't really need a lot of clothes, you know what I mean? Because you don't want to be carrying around, you know, 20, 30 pounds worth of luggage. But then, you know what I'm saying, just go over there with a free mind. And I think that's the best advice I can give somebody.
Yeah, I love that answer, man. Thank you for that. Yeah. Speaking of Cambodia, Long Beach is known as Cambodia Town.
Yeah.
Let me know what it's like, you know, like Long Beach. Like, what do you love about Long Beach, Cambodia Town?
What I love about Long Beach, Cambodia Town, what I love about it is probably what a lot of people hate about it. A lot of people outside of us looking in, they probably be like, damn, it's ghetto, damn, it's hood, damn, it's this, it's that. But, you know, I like to find beauty in the struggle. I'm the type of person that I look at certain situations and I find the light out of it, you know what I'm saying? And it's the same thing with Long Beach, Cambodia Town. You look at everything that makes it out to what it is, and it's home. You got gangs, you got the hood, but at the same time, you got businesses, you got art, you got Apsara dancers like Mia, who's doing the whole Apsara Cambodian dancing, keeping the tradition alive. You got our official Long Beach, Cambodia Town in the Eastside, you know. And it feels good to have something to call home, to have something to identify yourself with as far as Long Beach, the East Side. And to know that we have one of the biggest populations of Cambodians outside the world, outside of Cambodia, it feels good. But it don't mean like we better than anybody, but it just feels good to have a headquarters, to be hometown to anybody that want to come chop it up and say what's up, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what's up. I didn't even know that people think of Long Beach as ghetto, because when I went, it's like, to me, I saw palm trees, I saw the beauty, saw the people's love. But you know, I didn't grow up there, so it might have been a different way back then. So it's like, yeah, man, it's like till this day is one of my favorite places I visited. I mean, I had a real good experience.
Yeah, and besides that, you know, California, Southern California, the weather is good, damn near all year round, right?
Perfect weather.
Like a lot of the people here, we love when people from out of town come visit, because we like to show them around. We like to party, like to give them a good time. You know what I'm saying? So it feels good to be able to share the experience with those out of town with how we get down over here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and not to mention the food. I've never had bad food in Long Beach. The Khmer food, the tacos, whatever. Everything was good. So shout out to the food. And is there any favorite? What's your favorite Khmer food, and what's your favorite go-to spot in Long Beach? Khmer or non-Khmer, whatever.
I got a lot. You know, Crystal Thai on 10th Street, man, that's a go-to. They salon with you is like on point. Like I can't even front. They got the Shack, of course, which is like by default, one of the best footballs I've ever had. You got the great spot, Cyclo Noodles, which is a quick family-owned shop where they sell everything from pho to cathedral to rice dishes, beef sticks, whatever you name it. And it's a lot of new businesses that they're popping up too, as far as like Aracia Cafe, Meals.com, and just other people that younger generation that's helping keep the Cambodian culture alive, mixing it with like a modern taste and flavor. So man, those are just something to name a few.
Oh, I love to see it, man. That's what's up, man. Has anyone told you that you remind them of a Cambodian hip Nipsey Hussle?
I've gotten that a couple of times. Yeah,
I see that he's one of your favorites. So I hear, I don't know, maybe your voice is similar when you rap. So it's like maybe, I don't know, it might be a Cali thing or just like the way you rap. But I think Nipsey Hussle was dope. It's not just like hip hop, but he was like smart and intelligent. The way you give interviews is like, okay, this guy's like he studies the Nipsey
for sure. And every time I hear that, like man, I just got chills just hearing that. Just because like he's somebody I admire as far as like his way of thinking, inside and outside of music, coming from where he comes from. He's not out here trying to portray like this lifestyle, but he's really trying to shift the dynamic of the way the world sees his culture, right? And that's the same exact thing of how I want to relate to is I want to be able to change the narrative of what people may think of us minorities or us as Cambodians. So, yeah. And so just his music, just him as a person, I feel like he's a great role model for anybody to listen to. And whenever people tell me like they kind of compare me to him, like I feel a lot of different ways because I don't want people to think that I'm comparing myself to who he is because I got such a long way to go. But I take that compliment gracefully because I understand what his mission was. And, I can only be thankful that people even see me in that same category. You know what I'm saying? And I got the chance to meet him one time. And I was scared as shit to talk to him. Like, I was fucking nervous. Like, my heart was beating. And it was right around a couple months before I had dropped my album. And I was driving home from work. I was just like on my phone and shit. And I had seen an opportunity to be in the studio where they had 1500 where they do their academy and say, oh, go come and sit with Nip and ask questions and talk about the album. I was like, oh shit. And I just bought a ticket right then and there. I just pulled over and I bought a ticket real quick.
Spur the moment.
A few minutes later, boom, sold out. And so it's 40 people only allowed in the class. Everybody else had to sit outside. So I was just like, damn, like, this is just like, that was one of those things where if I had act on it, I would have lost the opportunity.
Wow.
So the day I got there, I'm the only Cambodian guy there. It's just everybody else there, black, a couple whites, Mexicans and shit like that. I'm in the class. I'm looking at people who are just like me or just looking for information, just wanting to listen to him. But when he walked in a room, you automatically felt the energy shift. It's like this fool was a god or some shit like that. And I wasn't gonna talk to him, but I told myself like, "Hey, stop! Don't be a little bitch. Like you better talk to him."
Definitely, man.
And finally came around that they had passed me the mic. I said, "Ask him a good question. Ask him a good question."
What'd you ask him?
And then I had asked him. I was like, "What is it that you look for in your songs that that's the one for you, that does it for you?" And he explained to me, he's like, "It's not something you necessarily look for, but it's something that you feel for." It could be a beat, it could be a lyric, it could be a moment where it tells you sonically that that's the one. And it's not something that sometimes you specifically search for, but it'll just come to you. And that's how I structure my songs, is if I don't feel it, I don't put it out. But if it's something that kind of catches my ear and it just makes me feel a certain way, those are the things where I understand, like, that's the music that I want to put out. It's something that makes me feel a certain way. You know what I'm saying?
That's real. Yo, by the way, man, rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle.
Yeah, rest in peace. I got the homies that gifted me with these posters or these framed pictures back here. So that's why I got them on my wall.
Oh, wow, that's dope. Man, what I liked about Nipsey, I think it's important that we talk about Nipsey is because he was always preaching ownership, like owning owning your shit, like when him like he bought his store, but it also like it will relate to like you own it, like you doing everything yourself, like the right way. What I was telling you before, like you definitely want to own your masters, like like he was preaching to like go indie, which is like and he made it. He proved to himself that he could do it. How did that motivate you to like put out your album like the right way? You went on TuneCore, you got the publishing.
I think so the first album is when I was telling myself that I needed to take it to a new level. That's when I hollered at you guys, like you and Joni, like, hey man, I want to take it to a new level. And I used to be scared to ask questions. But I started telling myself, it's like asking questions to learn is very different from asking for a handout. Asking for a handout is you not wanting to do the work and you expecting results. But asking questions is you actively seeking to learn about information. You know what I'm saying?
And I was like really glad that you asked, there's no question that, like, I feel like I'm always down to help. So like, don't be afraid to ask. So like, sometimes in the same way, you never know. Cause you always got, you don't, for whatever reason, you don't ask, but sometimes I think it's good that you asked and then like to see that you applied it and really went ham and just like took it to the top and, you blew up in your own way. So it's like, I'm really proud of you. I support you 100%. And, definitely, I think that's very inspirational. Like maybe like the people that want to like start making music, like, are you pretty responsive? Maybe they DM you for tips. I see that you definitely show love when people DM you. You definitely give advice. So that's what I admire about you too. You're always positive.
I think early on when I started making music, I was just poor. Like I couldn't afford a videographer. I couldn't afford somebody to make beats. I couldn't do a lot of things that were out of my control. But what I did have control over was being able to learn the resources that I needed to put myself in a position where I no longer needed a videographer. I no longer needed like an engineer or somebody to make beats for me or whatever like that. So that was one thing, something that my mom taught me, is that you need to be an owner of yourself. So I always tell myself I can't be mad over the things that I have control over versus the things that I don't have control over. So if I can learn something for myself, if I can change the narrative or the situation of myself, then cool, right? And I could be able to do all these things for myself. I think the first time I paid for a videographer, I just watched them. I was like, damn, like, what are you doing? And I was just asking questions like, what kind of camera is that? Like, what program do you use? And shout out to him because he was answering me and he was giving me the tips. He's like, this is what you need, X, Y, Z, blah, blah, blah. From there, I just learned. And I was telling them, camera like this, shoot it at this angle. I got a laptop. I just started learning. I started editing my own videos. And from there was when I was like, you know what? I no longer need to wait on somebody to give me the opportunities that I need to provide for myself. And so from that model, I kept that going along the whole way, even when making an album, even when doing my videos or whatever. I was like, along the way, if I'm stuck, ask questions. You got Google, you got YouTube, you got all the necessary resources right in front of you. You just got to dig for it. And I tell people that, like, you just got to dig for it. You got to want it. You know what I'm saying? It don't take no more than you just searching up whatever questions you got. You know what I'm saying? So,
that's real, man. Like, I'm kind of in the same boat too. Like, it feels real good to not have to wait on someone or depend on someone. Like, if you just go and learn it yourself and just, like, it's cool then, if you don't have like the extra hands to film, I pay the homies, I don't mind investing in the craft, but like, like more so on the editing side, a lot of that is all YouTube University, and I feel like it tastes like success. I mean, it tastes better self-made, like, you know what I mean? Like when you see the final product, like, yo, I did that. No one gonna say, yo, because of me, he popping. Because of my beat, he popping. You know, like just like
it's only an investment to yourself. Mm-hmm. And even now, like now that I'm in a better position than what I once was, I only work with people that I see coming up who I feel like they deserve the same as me. So I would rather pay somebody who is passionate about what they do, like videographers who are like really into it. And I build a relationship with them and I just continue to work with them. You allow me to do what I got to do. but pay you to work on your craft. And then to each, we just kind of benefit off each other. You know what I'm saying? Sure. So I think that's the beauty is like when you understood or understand a vision and you're able to find somebody that you work well with, it's easier to create it like that,
For sure.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, Gfunk, what's your favorite song, past or present, that you ever wrote and recorded?
My favorite song, man, I gotta say there's a couple, but I say my first one ever is probably the song I did on my first mixtape called 50/50. And this song was kind of like when I started rapping like in metaphors, when I was rapping like life verses. Of course I like to spit bars and I like to be witty and clever. But my biggest thing is like making songs where it can motivate somebody. So 50/50 was one of them. And I think if I got to pick a song today, there's a song off of my latest project, Unapologetic, called All I Know. And I feel like it's just a strong song that holds a powerful message that a lot of people could relate to. You know what I'm saying? So that's definitely like another one of my favorites for sure. I got a lot of handful, and I like to turn on shit too, like Cali Grammar.
Yeah, I was about to say that's my favorite, Cali Grammar. Like I like that turn up, the party, the beat.
Yeah, of course. Now we all like to turn up, we all like to party and shit. But yeah, Cali Grammar, that one took me to a whole new level.
Yeah, like that one like oozed Long Beach. Like you were like the music video from the beats, the production, like made me want to like sea walk, and I don't even know how to sea walk. You know what I mean? It was dope, man.
We shot and edited that video myself too, because this got to represent hometown for real.
I like how you had the elote man. Was that the elote man? The little cart? What was that?
The ice cream man, and he came randomly. Like we were shooting at the spot, and then he was just looking at what we was doing, and I asked him because I spoke a little Spanish. And I was like, "Hey, what's up? Like, how you use the cart?" He was like, "Go ahead." And I used like a quick 30 minutes. I shot him like $20. You know what I'm saying? So that was cool.
Love, man.
Yeah. And then the homies, they need a plug for all the lowriders and shit. So we went to the spot, and so we had all the cars in there. So it was perfect,
Yeah, that was just a fun video, man. But you have a lots of quality songs and quality videos too. So people, if you guys don't know who Gfunk is, just go on YouTube, search Gfunk Supreme, and follow him on all his socials. It's on the screen right there. But let's talk about your new album. You just finished, right? What's the title?
I can't say that.
Oh, you can't say it yet. So all right, yeah. So do you have like maybe an idea of when you're gonna release it? It is
honestly, like as a fan of music, I'm just studying what's going on with the whole coronavirus thing. I want to present the album and allow it to have its best potential when people are able to go out, when we can drive, when we can go to the gym and all that. I'm not really in a rush to drop music because I'm a fan of the art of music. I'm not a fan of just dropping things just to drop content, just because like I'm feeding into like for attention. Like I'm not thirsty for attention. What I want to do is make an impact with the things I do drop. So I want to present it and give it to people the right way. So I'm not in no rush. I would like to drop it this year, hopefully when all this shit goes away. But it's pretty much wrapped up. We're getting ready to plan to roll out all the videos for it. So I think to be prepared is to be better off than when all this shit goes away and to not be prepared. So I'm just chilling on it. I'm already working on my next album. So
that's what's up. That's what I like about you. You're always grinding. Like, one project done, keep recording, keep that backlog so you have it tucked in the chamber.
And I tell people and a lot of people don't even know this. Like they think I just rap all day. But like I also have a 9 to 5. You know what I'm saying? Like I work at the same time. And I do a lot of other shit outside of music. And I tell people like you gotta have balance. You gotta be able to not kind of just put yourself in a single box where you kind of feel confined to just doing one thing. I tell people it's better to open your mind to a lot of new things that you can experience different emotions and different channels and not force yourself to have to write a song. And for my situation, not force yourself to have to make content. Like if you just learn how to live your life the way you should live your life, it makes making music a lot better. And that was the process for this album. Like I didn't force none of the songs. I was just living. And however I felt a certain emotion, I just feel like writing, I wrote a song. If I didn't, I wouldn't. And I feel like making songs like that made it a lot easier. And this album only took me like 3 recording sessions. You know, I would go in like 4 songs, 5 songs ready to record. And so when I go in, I'm already rehearsing these verses 1,000 times before the studio, right?
Well prepared.
So when I'm going in, I make sure mentally I'm ready. I make sure I eat. We all like, you know, we break the ice, have a conversation. And soon after that, we just get to work. And so we just doing song after song after song. And we already know the way we work to where it's like that. It's back to back to back to back. And of course, you're taking breaks and you're being cool, but it helps me be efficient in the studio where I'm not wasting time because you're wasting your own money if you just kicking it.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
But when I'm going in, I'm really knocking out like 3-4 songs a day or until my voice gets tired, you know.
That's what's up. Mm-hmm. That's important to like go there prepared because like these engineers, they don't really fuck around with people going there that trying to write the lyrics on the spot. You know, that takes up the studio time and, you know, you're wasting money. And that's honestly how I got linked up with my engineer that I work with right now, because I did a song for somebody else on somebody else's album, and I came in. He didn't really know who I was. He just knew of me, but he just liked how I came in, did the verse in like 30 minutes. I wasn't fucking around in the studio. Then when it was, we had a window, I started playing him some of my old music, and he was just impressed at my work ethic. That was the main thing. I told him I wanted to do a new album, and based off how I just came in and just was like, on point. He was like, yeah, I fuck with it. And then just throughout the whole thing, like he was just impressed with how I was doing my music and all that. So I think that made him a fan and allowed me to create a relationship with him to work, more so. Yeah, that's real. Like, your work ethic is impeccable, and they say first impression is everything. So that was his first time meeting you?
That day, yeah, that was his first time we ever met each other.
Right away, boom. We want to work with you.
I tell people, man, you coming into the studio, you got to give your best effort. Like I told this kid, he had just hit me up, like, how much is the verse? And I've met him before, So a little story about this little kid that hit me up. One of my homegirls is his teacher. And she hit me up because she was telling me how this kid, who was a good kid, but just kept getting into trouble. He was hanging around the wrong people. He was on the verge of being kicked out of school. And she was like, can you talk to him? His dad had passed away. His mom ain't really always there for him. And he's just, I don't know what to do with him. But he wants to be an artist. And so because you rap, like maybe you can help. And so I checked him out. I was like, yeah, I'll come holler at him. And so I felt weird at first because this kid is Hispanic, right? Not that it matters, but the people that he hangs out with is quote unquote enemies of people that look like me, Cambodians or Asians, period, over here in Long Beach, right?
Right.
It's 4 enemies, like talking about like killing each other on site type shit. And that's why I felt weird. I was like, how am I supposed to relate to this kid that the people he hang out with would kill people that look like me? And I was just like, I don't know. But I was like, out of my heart, I was like, as an artist and as somebody who looks at him like he needs a male role model or a father figure, I was like, I took the race issue out the way. So I went to go holler at him. I went to go chop it up with him. And I was just giving him some advice that I would have liked as I was growing up at his age. Like, look, man, you chilling around these people or X, Y, Z, and like, this is what's going to happen. But I told him, I was like, but you're going to do whatever you want. Because when you force somebody to do something, they're not going to do it. But when you give them the option to, they start to explore themselves. And so he had hit me up asking for a verse. And that was the same kid I'm talking about. And I told him, like, hey, man, you show me your grades and I'll do the verse for you. It's motivating to have a little bit of hope, to have a little bit of something to work towards. Because now you have a goal that's measurable, that's kind of obtainable, where you can feel like you can reach it. Like if I told myself, like, damn, I want $1 million. Back then, I would have been like, I can't do that. The words I can't, it just sound like it hurt because you would never get it. But if I tell myself, like, damn, I want to save up $1,000, you'd be like, you know what? I think that's doable. So you work hard, but once you get that $1,000, okay, now I want 10, now I want 100, now I want $1 million. So for this kid, once I gave him something that was obtainable, that was like, you know what? I think I could get A's and B's. Like, yeah, I could get my grades up. okay, I'm gonna work for that. And for that, like, I'm gonna get his verse. And so that kind of just inspires you to work hard, to do what you need to do to get the job done. And so, yeah, that's what it was with that one.
That's love, man. I respect that. So that's love, man. For
yeah,
sure.
And it's not about the money. Like a lot of the times it's not about the money. Because some people will approach you and don't even ask if you charge. They're just like, yo, I need a verse.
Right.
Like, what the fuck? This kid who's 14 that don't got no money, like, you know what I'm saying? He asked. I was like, I like that. But I was like, you know what?
Yeah. I like that too. For a young man that had just hit you with the business side because he values your time. Yeah. And he, you know, that's what's up, man.
Of course, I get this, right? He was asking me, like, what song should I do, blah, blah. I was like, you do the song you want to do. But I was like, when you're going to present it to me, present it like you was doing a class presentation. Like, have everything on point, have the song ready, have it clean, laid out. That way I know you're taking it serious. So at the same time, giving them tips of life advice. Like when you're ready to give yourself to the world, make sure you're ready and you're on point because they're going to value how you present yourself the first time. You know what I'm saying? Like I would tell anybody else, you know?
Yes, sir. So what are your like long-term goals in life besides music? Do you see yourself owning some sort of business, or do you have other like dreams and goals that you want to get done?
Yeah, so long-term businesses, right? Of course, I think the biggest thing is to be able to own property. For me, outside of music, right? Owning property, having, again, ownership, something to your name, something that you can hold on to for you and your family is probably the next biggest thing, you know? And so right now, me and my family, we own some things, and that's important to know because fucking rent is not cheap, right? Rent is not cheap, and at the end of the day, you never own it. That ain't never yours. And so to have something you can call yours, again, is your foundation that you can build off of. You grow from that, and you build your own empire after that. Besides that, a production company is something I'm looking forward to as far as doing videos for people, you know, photography, being an engineer, or having a resource where people can go there to where they no longer have to do certain things that might put them in trouble just to put them in better situations. Because, you know, growing up, we ain't always had the access that we did to record music or to, you know, want to paint or want to do photography. So because of that, we got to do the other things. People have to do, you know, sometimes a lot of bad shit because they didn't have the right resources to do what they really wanted to do. And so they end up in fucked up situations where, you know, you might end up in jail, you might end up in a gang, locked up, or, you know, dead or whatever like that. And so those are some of my future goals, just to like name a few. You know what I'm saying?
That's what's up. I like it. Also, I see that you work out on the daily. Like, would you say like health is the single most important thing in life to stay healthy?
1,000%. I say it's very important to know that you got to put yourself first before anything. You know, mental health and physical health is just as important. And I feel like when I started making music, I started working out, I started feeling better about myself, is when I started to make the best music that I was able to make. You know what I'm saying? But not only that, you know, we getting older, so it's preservation of yourself rather than, you know, you doing things that's going to deteriorate yourself. Like you drinking every day, you doing drugs, or you just doing whatever that's not going to help you maintain yourself in the future. You know what I'm saying? And you're just staying polished. You know, I feel like everybody should take time to, you know, treat themselves to a workout or to something that, you know, like a spa or massage or whatever that feel good. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I definitely would tell everybody like fitness. I mean, and you too, like you would know, like you looking good throughout the years. I've seen your progress too, you know, and I can tell you feel good. You know, people build confidence, and
way better.
It's a great feeling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's why I had to mention it because I watch your stories. Like, yo, damn, he going hard. So it's like it kind of motivates me. Like I need to start lifting, but mainly I just been doing like just my diet, just switch up your whole body. But I do a lot of cardio, a lot of bicycling and stuff. But you know, that's what's up. I think that motivates people too, not just me, just like people that watch your stories. And you know, it's like I think it's dope to like show stuff like that side of you too, which is you're not scared to show like, I mean, Man, you got a 6-pack. Yeah, you better show that shit. You got, you know what I mean? Me, I don't have it yet, so it's gonna motivate me to grind. So my next music video, I'm gonna go shirtless too. Shit.
I feel you, bro. But you know, my homies like they went to school and they opened up their own gym. So like they would say like you are the people you hang around with all the time. Or at the same time, flock together. So it was natural for me to like start getting into it because a lot of my friends was into that. You know, they was working out, they was maintaining their health, they was staying fit. And for a lot of Cambodian people or Southeast Asians, we know that a lot of our parents, we not really that healthy. You know, we eating pie every day, we eating salad, like a lot of the shit that's in there probably ain't the best thing for you. So you know that we need to start changing the narrative. Like you can still eat that, but you know, incrementally, like you can eat those good things, but maintain your health at the same time. You know what I'm saying? That's very important.
Definitely important. Yeah, man. Shit. Yo, shout out to your peoples, man. I see that a lot of like our generation, like the younger generation, popping up with podcasts. I think your homies just added me the Sessions podcast. So I just said, I shouted them out. That's dope. So you want to shout out your peoples? Like while we're on the shout outs, like shout out to your like gym homies too. Like that's what's up. You have a lot of good people in your circle.
Yeah, shout out to JP Fish, shout out to Sessions Up, shit, shout out to Hella Chluy, shout out to everybody, you know what I'm saying? I love seeing people on the grind. I love seeing people hustling, doing their thing because it inspires me. You know, like we look for things to inspire us. We look for motivation. And so it helps to be able to see that. See people's progress from point A to point Z. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. That's why I'm always posting shit. Like I want people to see that like I'm regular schmegular. Like I go through a lot of the same shit everybody goes through. I want to show y'all the process, but I'm just never afraid to show my process. Social media has a way of making this facade like your life supposed to be perfect. Like this all cookie cutter perfect. Like people is balling, people is fucking fit as fuck. Like we're all happy as fuck. But we're not all like that. We go through regular emotions, ups and downs. And I'm just not afraid to show my everyday process of everything I go through. You know what I'm saying? Because people can relate to that. You know?
Respect. Yeah, definitely, man. I totally feel you. Like, we're all human. Like, people think I'm like, like balling or whatever. Like, but I struggle every day. You know, every day is, adversity, like, especially with this pandemic. But it's also kind of like, it helps me prepare. Like, just turning, how you say it, turning it to a positive. Like, I always like, 2020 ain't got to be canceled. We still got a few months to make it happen. I always think positive. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because some people are less fortunate than us. There's people out there really, fucked up. Dying and stuff, and struggling not get their unemployment because the system crashed or whatever. They applied a long time ago. I got homies that never got it, so now they cut out the 600. So I was like, I was actually blessed enough to get it. So I was like, damn, thank you. I stacked it.
Yeah, most definitely.
Save that shit.
I try to be optimistic about a lot of different things, because like everybody, we've hit a lot of dark points, and the best thing you can do is just put your best foot forward, keep your chin up, and just thug it out. Like what else can we do? That's it.
Drink some coffee, bump some gangster rap, and handle your business, right?
You feel me? Like I just said, just be optimistic and do the best you can.
Yes, sir. What type of advice would you give, like, an aspiring artist? Like, what would you give them?
Inspiring
tips, on how to start? Like, if anyone, like, to get into music or whatever in life, even a life advice.
I think for anybody in life looking to find something to do or something that's gonna make them happy, is to actually be happy with what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of people, succumb to doing certain things because they have to. They don't really have a lot of choices. But if you find yourself doing something that you really enjoy and you kind of just give your all to it, you'll find that the universe starts to pay you back in a way that you never expected. You know what I'm saying? So you enjoy your process, enjoy your struggles, your ups and downs, but always keep your faith. You just start to realize the universe always works in your favor like that. And that might sound kind of cliche to a lot of people, but it's very much true. If you put 50% into something, you only gonna get 50% back. But just imagine if you gave everything your all and you exhausted all of your opportunities, but you just kept going and kept going. Life will pay you back in a way where you just never would have thought. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I've been rapping like, I don't know how long, 10 years. And I feel like people really didn't start noticing me just like until like the last few months, like this whole pandemic, like my shit just kind of been going up. And I was like, oh shit. And so you just, as long as you start to enjoy it, you stay true to who you are, and you stay in your lane and you worry less about the next lane, who's driving what, who's doing what, and you focus on where you're supposed to go, you're gonna get there. You're gonna get there sooner or later,
Yeah, I like that. That's some real good advice right there, and totally agree 100%. Like, you do it because you love to do it, and just work hard no matter how long it takes. Like you said, they say it takes 10 years to become an overnight success, and you've been grinding long before this YouTube shit. You was recording since middle school and like high school. Like, it takes a long time. They don't see like the sweat, blood, and tears and stuff, but just keep going, man. Like, practice your craft, work on it, just get good, and just like be yourself, most importantly, and also have fun doing it.
I feel you, bro. You right, man. Like, as long as you enjoying what you're doing, just have fun with it. You'll be all right. That's what I always tell people.
Yeah, I don't think you can fail, man. Like, failure, you're supposed to fail. Like, just see what you're gonna do. Like, re-strategize, just bounce back. Like, I think I failed most of my life just to find out my niche in life. I was doing like music long before this comedy stuff, and it just kind of like comedy was kind of like by accident. Like, I was always kind of like funny with my friends, but comedy was never really my passion. It's always music. My channel is really music centric, so I incorporated comedy music. So I just kind of made it work, So if you have a niche, just find your niche. If you want to do stuff, just figure it out. Something. Who knows, your path that you're going your path might change later, and you're gonna learn to love it. That's all I want to say.
I think when I started to understand the concept of fear and failure and how to manipulate that into my own hands was when I started really like understanding my full capabilities. Like, when I stopped being scared of failure was when I understood like failure is really not a bad thing. Failure is something for you to learn from and to grow from. When I started learning that, I was like, all right. So I started being fearless with a lot of things. Like, if you see somebody you see somebody you want to approach, fuck it, go for it. Like, why you scared for it? What's the worst thing that's going to happen? Somebody going to say no? Okay, fuck it. You say no, you say no. Or, if you want to, obtain a goal that's achievable, you want to get a certain car, should you work towards that? What's the fear of you trying so hard that you'll get so close you would have never imagined? But the fear of you telling yourself that you can't do it, that's what's going to stop you instead. You know what I'm saying?
I think self-doubt and fear is kind of like our biggest brick wall, that that stops us from being great. Every now and then I still like I self-doubt myself. Like, what if this is not funny enough? What if this song's not dope enough? Like, you just gotta put it out, and don't expect everything to pop off or go viral. Not everything's gonna go viral. As soon as I accepted that, I feel more at peace with myself, and I'm happy with what I'm doing. Like, don't chase the views, don't chase the fame. I was never in this for fame. Like, I'm kind of like anti-spotlight. Even like people that know me, I'm really shy. Like, I don't. But like I'm like 10 years in this shit. So like, fuck it. I just do it because I want to bring the people that support me, just give them pure entertainment and just have fun doing it. I work a regular job just like you. I'm grinding, but I'm also constantly working on like, my dreams, always, sharpening my skills, with the video, with the music and stuff like that.
You really got to stay hungry, bro.
Stay hungry.
And it's funny you say that because that's how I came up with my album title, Unapologetic. I was talking to the homie and I was telling him, I was like, man, I feel some type of way because people kind of perceive me to be such a, this type of person that I felt like I couldn't really say some of the things I wanted to say on music. And then he was like, well, why? What the fuck? Like, you're you. Like, you be yourself. And if nobody like it, who gives a fuck? Fuck them. I was just like, right, bro. And I was like, what's a good word for fuck everybody? But, like in a more better term. And I was like,
professional.
Unapologetic. Like, that sounds hard. Like, I like that. And that's actually the idea of the album. Was I said whatever I wanted to say. I make the music that I like to make, that I enjoy, and anybody who likes it, I appreciate it. But for y'all that don't, it's all good. This is me. This is you. You're not gonna make me feel bad for being myself.
Yo, that's strong, because like a lot of people can relate. You know, like that's really good advice. Just fuck what anyone thinks. Just do you, and be unapologetically you. And that's kind of like the type of mentality I'm on. Like these past couple years, like I've made music I want to do. I don't cater to the fans anymore. They're like, you should like remix this Prip Savant song. Like, no, man, my legacy ain't gonna be parodies. I write fire original songs. You know, whether you like it or not. You know, just make yourself happy. I don't want to be the guy that I don't like being told what to do. You know, like if you don't like my new shit, you don't like my new shit. Go listen to my old shit. So that's why I feel like we have a lot of similarities in that aspect of
Yeah, definitely.
Damn, I think this is the dope interview, man. Thank you for giving it to me. So, man. Any last words? Any shout outs? Any anybody you want to shout out, or any announcements you want to make right here on ChluyTalk, so we could wrap it up.
Anybody want to shout out? I want to shout out to my sister Saria, who will be giving birth to her son in like 2 months. So we have another boy in the family. I want to shout out to my nieces and my nephews because they're fun. I want to shout out my mom because I feel like it. You know what I'm saying? I just want to shout out the world. You know, shout out to you guys. That's it. Yeah. What up? This is Gfunk Supreme. Y'all tuned in to ChluyTalk. Turn up.
See you on the next one. Thank you, Gfunk.